once again, we welcome you to Wisdom for Life and Leadership. And we are talking about the new career frontier for young professionals, the new school. So I will say we welcome you once again. So I want to start with my honorable Shina. I've known Shina since secondary school days. Of course, it was just from afar. And it was one of those high flying students, the high flyer students, or high flying students. And I've also I'd always admire his tenacity, his the way he does things, and today we can attest to his success story. So, Shina Solomon, is a highly skilled civil engineer with extensive experience in construction industry. So he has been involved in various infrastructural projects, including roads, bridges, buildings, and jettisoning across the country. But Shina also has an expertise, beyond civil engineering. He also has an expertise as a certified coach and mentor from the Chartered Institute of Mentoring and Coaching Nigeria. And he has also delivered some corporate training to organizations such as the Nigerian Stock Exchange, Delta State Judiciary, YOA Brokers, American Society of Civil Engineers, DOC Gases, Selling Oil and Honda. Why? But currently, Shina is an e-learning designer who works with a Lagos-based e-learning company, and his role in that organization is actually to develop online courses and training materials for clients across different sectors. Another thing that Shina actually does as well is to use the social media platforms to actually share knowledge. So I'm using this opportunity once again to welcome Mr. Shina Solomon. Thank you very much for honoring our invitation.
Thank you very much, Shala. That's a big one. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Welcome. So, moving on to the next panelist, the amiable Israel Fabz. The first time I put up the flyer on my WhatsApp, someone just started me up like, Israel Fabz. So I was like, oh, I felt big, like, yeah, I know him, yeah. So and it's also a privilege to have him, to discuss with us this evening. So Israel Fabz is a leading digital creator and brand strategist, whose influence can be felt on the Gospel Experience brand, and is a brand and blog with the largest online Christian community in Africa. And apart from being the founder of Gospel Experience, he's also a leading expert, whose impact has helped to drive change, transformation, for several brands and personalities through the use of digital skills and content creation expertise. Israel can boast of running successful campaigns for several renowned names in the gospel industry, from Mike Abdul to Honor to Isabella, and among many others. Israel is a digital marketing expert who is not only bringing awesome results for the secular, but also building the kingdom and propagating the gospel through the use of social media and digital marketing. Mr. Israel Fabz, welcome. Thank you for honoring our invitation.
Thank you very much for having me, sir.
All right. So our last panelist for this evening, none other than Mr. Emmanuel Adegoke. Mr. Emmanuel Adegoke actually started his journey, from self-education, where he started educating himself on Microsoft, which is the foundation of, most computer-related courses. And, with that, he has been able to develop himself, into what he is today. And through part of the development process for him, was to start, coding, and he has been able to also build a brand for himself as a web development, as a web developer, a graphic designer, and a web. Yeah, sorry about that. I think we should let's mute if we want to maybe make any comments after. Thank you. Yeah, so like I was saying, Mr. Emmanuel has been able to build a brand for himself as a web developer, as a web design trainer, and also as a social media marketer. And currently, Mr. Emmanuel is on the process of becoming a computer scientist. So welcome, Mr. Emmanuel. Thank you very much for honoring.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir.
All right. So okay. So we're starting it up, and yeah. So Mr. Israel, Mr. Emmanuel, I want us to so that our audience can see your handsome faces. Yeah. All right. Awesome. I think Mr. Shina.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah. So I said I want our audience to see your handsome face. All right. So once again, I welcome everybody. This is Wisdom for Life and Leadership. Our aim is to empower people, so that they can succeed, with biblical principles and biblical wisdom on how they could succeed either in the sacred arena or also in the secular arena. All right. So I welcome you all once again. Yeah. So let's dive in. So my first question to our panelists this evening is, going through Shina and Mr. Israel's profile. They both had background in engineering. Well, which, by the way, I also have a background in engineering myself. And of course, then Mr. Emmanuel, he is legit within the industry, so he can just exempt in the bit. Yeah. So, but my first question is, as a young professional, especially from where you're coming from, like from Mr. Shina, Mr. Israel, having that engineering background, how would you say you actually started off? Then what was that? What happened? What was the transition and everything that happened to this particular current career that you are into now? So, like for Mr. Shina, into e-learning. For Mr. Israel, who is into digital marketing, social media influencing, and all that. And for Mr. Emmanuel, okay, sorry, that's from Mr. Israel. Then for Mr. Emmanuel, who is into web development and web design. So, how will you say, what are those? How did you get to this point? What are the things that that would say are responsible, for those transitions to this particular point here. So I think I will start with Mr. Emmanuel. So Emmanuel, can you open the floor for us?
Okay. Good evening, sir.
Yeah. Good evening.
Yeah. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thanks very much for this presentation. So as far as the journey for web development, together?
Yeah.
Yeah, together we can hear you.
So I could remember vividly, it all started in church. So I attended King's Word International Church. So there is this web development program. So there is web development program, graphics design program. There is some other programs as well. So the way the journey started was that we have to, just find a particular area that we are good at, and then just fix ourselves. So while I, got to the web design class, I was able to see that, oh, yeah, I think this is where my strength lies. It's what I am passionate about. I know because I'm a kind of person that right from literally anything that has to and then while I was about to go, so I started looking at coding. Coding has been something I have loved, something I have. While I joined during the church workshop like that, we were issued a certificate, but the little challenge I faced, I don't even have a laptop there. So I was just trying to share with some people, we were like in groups, maybe like, we can be like a 5:1. That is 5 person to one laptop.
To one laptop.
Yes, exactly. So, but I knew that no, this is what I love. I knew it. I knew at that particular moment that I don't have all the resources I needed as in at that present moment, but I knew that no, I must pursue this career. So this has been the journey. This is how I started the journey, and it has been, along the line, I tried to opt in for some web design school, web design, and financially, it has also been another problem. So, but I didn't give up because it is just like I have made up my mind that no, this is there is a moment that no, this is what you want to do with your life, and then you are just fixed that it is either this or this. It's just this that. So along the line, I wasn't able, to keep up financial problems like I ever gave up. So I had a friend while I was trying to, while I gained admission, so from there, I was able to meet with some friends that have laptops. So I was able to, liaise with them. I was able to talk to them. So I used their laptop. That was where I began. I started downloading resources online. At a point, I wasn't even concentrating on what study. Just this is, my passion. Along the line, I didn't go through. I wasn't admitted in camp. I came down to Ibadan as in to further my national diploma in computer science. As in from there, my friend that I had, he had a small laptop. So that was a laptop I do use. Maybe whenever I go to class, stuff, I just use the laptop. I just use this laptop to code. In the morning, I code. In the afternoon, I'm just starting as an ND student. So I've not really been going to class. I just do this is what and regardless of the challenges, regardless of the storms, regardless of I was telling somebody.
You are muted.
Okay, I'm unmuted. All right.
Okay.
All right, sir. Are we together, sir?
Yes.
So I realized that at the end of the day, somebody was asking me a question the other day. The person used to come to me, how have you been able to cope? How have you been able to manage? How have you been able to come this far doing all this? And then one thing I was even telling the person jokingly that, you know, that we are in a kind of country that, you know, some of all these things, no matter how much we want to achieve it, it always look at some point that for a fact that sometimes you don't even have sometimes you don't even have anything to eat. And then if all these basic things are not here, you are not just, you know, excited. You are just broken. And you just feel like, am I sure I'm still going to go on with this thing? And you know, the kind of program that we are running into, this is encoding.
Yeah.
You know, your brain is always boy, just because of something you like, you just want to make things happen, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, another challenge, another big challenge that we even face, as in in the country, everywhere generally, is just the issue of a power supply. This is even one of the biggest challenge. You know, I just used to wonder, but you know, one thing I've realized is that no matter the challenges, no matter what comes, the passion is just the only thing that keeps steering you, that keeps moving you. The passion is the only thing that keeps moving you forward. Even there are times that, you know, I just have to leave the laptop. Sometimes I just realize that no matter how much I sleep, you know, I just think about foods. It got to a point that it is now part of me. So even if I don't have the light, even if I don't have, I have a book. Then I went to w3schools.com because I knew that I had passion for this. Even while others that we, you know, nobody was communicating with me. I just had to do it on my own because I couldn't, you know, reach out to people at that particular. So gradually, I started, you know, I started building all those things. And then I showed my friend that look at this thing I am building. How do you feel? You know, he's always encouraging me to be like, wow, this is awesome. This is awesome. From there, I know one thing about this web development is that, you know, while you are doing one, automatically you just want to jump to the other one as far as you can achieve as in one. You just want to move to the other because you're always excited. It is something you love doing. It is something, you know, you just know you love doing.
All right. Awesome.
All right. Okay, sir.
All right. Awesome. Thank you very much. You know, from everything you said, you know, there are two things that that I'll pick up, you know, which also, you know, align with what we do, you know, as an organization, is the fact that, you know, of course, I said passion, but I think with everything that you've said, it has gone beyond passion. It's more or less like a calling for you that, okay, you know, this is what God, you know, wants me to do, you know, about, you know, my life, maybe, you know, at this point in time. So for me, you know, it's more of a calling. So it's like you found your calling. Then the second thing also that I could, that I was able to get from every of your experience is the fact that you know, there are different stages in life, you know, and you do not allow each of those stages, you know, to hold you down, you know, from becoming that which God wanted to be, you know, at that point in time. Awesome. Thank you very much. All right. Yeah. So over to Mr. Israel. Well done, sir.
Good evening, everybody.
Yeah, good evening. And before you start, I just wanted to ask, how do you feel when your name appeared among, you know, one of the most influential? I think that was in 2020 or 2021. Among the young influential personnel.
Oh, 2020. It was delightful. There's always a point where you get celebrated. It's always a joy to get celebrated, to see that what you are doing is making impact. So it's always a joy. Thank you very much.
Yeah, all right. So
thank you very much for me.
Yeah. So you can go on.
All right. So I need to say this. For me, I believe for everything we do, we need to be open-minded. So transition to tech, to media, started from a place of open-mindedness. Yeah, civil engineering is a career, and so I studied that in school. But there is also a need to be open-minded. I realized there was interest in social media at an early point. I enjoy surfing the internet. I just enjoy taking time out to see what is happening part time, to understand what is changing. We are in an evolving world. So the internet was like a solace for me to understand what was changing around the globe. Currently now, everybody is using AI. AI is the new thing. So there was a need for me to say, okay, this was what was happening part time. So I realized there was interest for social media and the internet as well. At that point, I did not know what it was called. So I picked it up and talked with few guys, talked with few bosses here and there, and that was how I clinched my first social media role, social media management role. I guess I started with one of the most influential pages. I was working as a social media manager for an OAP in Nigeria. And at some point, I realized, oh, there is more to this. There's more beyond social media. And that was when I realized social media marketing and social media management are a type of digital marketing. So digital marketing is a broad network. It has the SEO, that's search engine optimization. It has the SEM, search engine marketing. It has the PPC, pay-per-click. And it also has the place of social media management. It has the place of influencing marketing. So I just felt, oh, if you're already doing social media management, go professional. And that was where it all started from. I decided to take professional courses, and we are here. So I think it's open-mindedness. I think it's versatility, the ability to explore different things. And the last thing is continuous learning. That was what got us here. In the last 3 or 4 years, I've lost the account of the amount of online courses I've taken. I'm taking one presently. I've lost counts. I just feel, oh, every time is an opportunity to learn. So currently there's a switch from being a digital marketing only to being a digital marketing and a product marketer. So I'm currently undergoing product marketing trainings. It's just the ability to learn, the ability to evolve with time. Time is changing and we must change along time with it. The only thing that is constant is Jesus, the same yesterday, today, and forever. If you are not Jesus, you need to evolve with time. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Those 3 key points you just made mention, I had to jot it down, open-mindedness, adaptability, and the fact that, we are an evolving world. So your continuous professional and personal growth is non-negotiable. It's very non-negotiable. All right, awesome. Thank you, Mr. Ezra. Yeah, so for those who are just joining us, once again, this is Wisdom for Life and Leadership. We are an organization, we train, we mentor people, on biblical principles, and how they can succeed both in the sacred arena and also in the secular arena. And one of our main goals is to be able to empower individuals, to succeed in whichever area, either within the secular or even within the sacred arena. Yeah, so I welcome everybody once again. Yeah, so Mr. Shina.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, so your transition from engineering to management training as a management trainer or corporate trainer, and now e-learning.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you very much for this opportunity and good evening, everybody. So apologies for the camera. My gen just went off now, so somebody's helping me check it downstairs. So just permit me to just kindly allow me. So when the gen comes up, so I'll be back with the video. So if I put it on now, it's dark. You can't even see me.
All right. Yeah. I can see your smile.
All right. So good evening, everybody. So
yes, so we saw your teeth.
Thank you very much for your understanding. Okay, so for me, it had been an awesome journey. So my background is civil engineering, okay, and specialty in maritime infrastructures. Basically, building structures on water, your bridges, jetties, ports, and the likes. So that's my specialty. But prior to that, I was involved in building constructions, road constructions, and so on and so forth in different parts of the country, Port Harcourt, Lagos, and Abeokuta, and the like, different part of the country in different construction projects. So I did that for a couple of years. So, but one thing I realized that prior to even becoming a civil engineer, I've always had passion for training people. It's something Shola can testify about. Mindminders Club. You can remember those days in Bimbo.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah. So even proud to, even while we're in school, what I did then when I was quite young, or even when I was in school, was I realized there was a need. A lot of people don't really have the knowledge of choosing a career path. So what happened is that just like the way everybody who finishes from science class want to become a doctor, and we don't know anything more than being a doctor, and those who went to art class want to become a lawyer.
Become lawyer. Yeah.
But who want to art commercial class, everybody just wants to become an accountant. And we are not seeing anything beyond that. So everybody just wants to become a doctor, a lawyer, and an accountant. And it just seems like those are the only three professions in the world. So if you are not any of those things, then you are nothing. So, but when I got to school, I realized, looking at the JAMB brochure, there are a lot of courses and professions, a lot of different career paths you can take. So, and that really caused something for me. Like, so when I came back home after my part one of those things I did was put my JAMB brochure in my bag and walk around my community looking for people who wants to take UTM in those periods. So I would sit them down, more like coach them, the courses they can take. If you finish from commercial class, so we look at the different career paths you can use the different career paths you can follow as a commercial student, different schools that are offering those courses and so on and so forth. Then from there, from going through the JAMB brochure, how do you even select the subject that best fit the course you want to go for, and so on and so forth. So I was doing that for a whole lot of people. So I became more like a career consultant sort of for people in my community. So people were always making recommendations, or people will come to my house, my kid wants to write exam and so on and so forth. And even some people went ahead appreciating my mom for their kids didn't even have a goal in life. So because I was involved in it, for example, there was one, the mom was saying they knew their kid saying she wants to go to school had an influence. And when they did their digging, they realized I was the one. So they were appreciating my mom on my behalf and so on. So those are the things for me. So when I did that, another thing we now did was I had friends in the community, people like Rotimi Williams and the likes, late Alabi Idris. So we are people who had passion for helping people because we have gone to school, we saw this and a lot of people were missing it. So we came together, formed a group, the Mindminders Club, doing career coaching in different schools, Badagry Grammar School, Frontline, different schools in Badagry. Okay, those are some of those things we did then, helping as many as possible people in our community make the right career choices at those points. Why? Because we at those points knew better and we didn't want any of them to repeat our own mistake. So that was how it all started for me. So when I eventually finished and went to service, I realized that this is bigger. So I decided to now become a certified, let's make this more professional. I never even knew there was even a society, an association like Charter Institute of Mentoring and Career Coaching in Nigeria, until I went to youth service and I discovered them. So I had to go through their training, became certified coach. So that means that I can now act professionally rather than just doing this thing out of passion. So that was how it all started from me. So when I came back after youth service, with this whole zeal of coaching, teaching, mentoring, it all comes natural for me. So from there, an opportunity opened up for corporate training. And what they basically required was they needed somebody who could teach people in corporate spaces, Nigeria Stock Exchange, data exchange, judiciary, and so on and so forth. So I had that. So, and one of those first courses I can still remember I took was branding. So I was very, very big on branding. As at that point, even those were some of those things we started from youth services, helping people get their brands in place. So when that opening came on, it was something I could take up. So I did. So I was able to, from there, other trainings came up, technical training, soft skill trainings, and so on and so forth came on. So, and just like the last speaker talked about evolving. So I realized that, okay, training also was going beyond just people gathering in a place. Training was going virtual. Training was going online. So I also had to move with that trend. So although we still have physical trainings, there are physical training and so on and so forth. Now I realized, okay, training is going virtual. E-learning is one of the biggest things now. Course creation is there, one of the biggest things happening. So people are not only taking courses and coming to your training places, it's also limiting because somebody in US may not have that luxury of time of flying down to Nigeria to take a course or a training. And also somebody who is in Nigeria may not have that luxury of time or that financial muscle to fly out of the country and take a training. So there are opportunities now for you to take trainings, professional trainings, anywhere you are in the world, even without leaving your space, just like what we are doing now. So, and that gave birth to many organizations springing up, like we currently know. So Udemy and the like, they all spring up, Domestika and a whole lot of other ones that we all go to. Okay, Coursera and so on and so forth, spring forth. So that was what really happened. So it's a time e-learning is also coming. So when I realized that, I realized, okay, instead of me just sticking with my corporate training, this is also a big market that is opening up, digital training and so on and so forth opening up. So that was how I was able to transition from being a civil engineer, practicing. I had like 5 years experience on field, okay, maritime structures. While I was doing that, corporate training was actually my side hustle. There are things I was doing alongside my civil engineering profession. So after a while, I tried to leave the field. Are you getting me? And it came into e-learning. So, and that was how I was able to transition. Even currently, I'm juggling e-learning and business development for maritime infrastructures. So more like I'm really doing two things basically. That's been my journey so far, from being a civil engineer to coming to corporate training, and now transitioning from corporate training to e-learning. So that's been my journey so far.
All right. Awesome. Thank you very much. One thing that has been consistent, with everything that, from Mr. Emmanuel to Mr. Israel to yourself, is that the world is evolving. So you also, you need to also evolve. And, and there are several opportunities, out there for you to succeed, for you to be able to do all, to be able to do all that that God has embedded, into you, right from creation, and all that. Thank you very much. Awesome. So I see that, I think few people have joined us again. So yeah, so thank you very much. So so that now, bring me to my next question, because of course, there's another made mention of passion, then also, I could, talking about evolving from financial and yourself and all that. So, there is this myth, and you are all, the three of you, from the church, you have a faith background, yeah. So, okay, probably let me do it this way. I'll ask it in two ways. So it's a twin question, so I'll ask, how have your faith, influenced your success story, this far, from how you started, through the transition process, and all that. So how has your faith actually influenced your success story so far? So that is one on one side. Then on the other side, what will you say about this myth of the fact that you have to be on the field, before you can actually say, you are being called, or you are doing, or you are within your calling, So, so that, two questions in one. So so I will say, Mr. Israel could, start with us.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, thank you very much. Interesting question, I must say. Now,
Okay.
Like I said, digital marketing needs to fill up a place in faith. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, loud and clear now.
Okay. I realized there was a need to fill up a space in faith. That a space was vacant in our faith. I realized, yes, I managed social media for a couple of brands at that point. I was managing for a wedding platform. I was managing for a couple of brands. I was influencing for a few brands also. And I was also giving brand strategies for several secular platforms at that point. So I was doing well personally, but I realized the Christian community itself doesn't have a large representation online. So we had the likes of Instablogging, then the likes of Today Notes, to mention names, that were influencing and running promotion in that regard for secular brands, but there was nobody, or there were limited numbers of people running for Christian brand. So I felt, oh, my faith is still this. Yeah, I run social media management and digital marketing. So I decided to do something, digital marketing in light of Christian community. I wanted Christians to also experience the gospel through social media and through the internet. And that was where gospel experience got bettered from. The place of saying, yeah, I have this faith. The world needs to know this Christ that we preach. And the social media is like the word has evolved. Money cries are no longer the theme, because the world is evolving gradually. And now social media marketing and management was the thing. So I literally switched that for the page. So we started the page. We started off Twitter. Twitter trends were much that period. And so we started off Twitter, created the website, and employed a few guys to work with me on the mission to preach the gospel beyond the walls. So we were preaching the gospel beyond the walls of the building, beyond the church building. And that was how gospel experience got started. So as my faith affected my work, I think my faith have actually influenced my work. It has not affected it negatively. Yeah, the only difference is I am selective of gig I collect. So there are offers you bring to my table and I decline because of my faith. And I'll tell you, oh, I can't influence for this product. I can't influence for this brand. It's totally against my faith. But it has totally transformed my faith. Currently now, on one social media platform, on the Instagram, we have over 400,000 followers with a monthly reach of 10 million accounts. So at least 10 million people get to hear the gospel through our page on only Instagram. And we have the same number replicated across other social media platforms. So my faith has triggered a community that needed Christ, that needed the bonding. Now, am I a minister? Yes, I am a minister. To answer your second question, I am not just a pulpit minister. I am what I would refer to as the marketplace minister. I am a minister sent to preach the gospel in the marketplace. So social media is my marketplace. The internet is my tool for propagating the gospel. Just like people have megaphones, just like people have microphones, just like people print banners and handbills. The internet is my own tool to preach the gospel, to reach out to more souls. So yes, faith has been helpful. Do I have challenges with faith? Having to trigger faith. Yes, there are limitations. I tell people there are limitations when it comes to this. But is it worth it more than ever? It is always worth it. It is always worth it to pick up my cross daily and follow Jesus. Very worth it. Thank you.
All right, awesome. That's so you know, the truth. I just want to say this, to our audience. If you are really enjoying, our panelists, please can we just, do some emojis in the chat box, please. Because the truth is, even I myself, I'm learning a lot. I'm really, really learning a lot. We just do, just drop some emojis in the chat box. Yeah, so thank you, Mr. Israel. Yes, of course. Irrespective, so your calling is not yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, I can see Olusola, I can see Timlane. Thank you. Yeah, so it's irrespective, your calling is not limited, to the four walls of the church, or to the people alone, but also in the marketplace, you are actually fulfilling your calling. All right, so I'll go to Mr. Emmanuel then before Shina. So Mr. Emmanuel, how has the faith, how has your faith actually influenced your journey so far? Of course, I can remember in your introduction, you made mention of the fact that this actually started for you from the church. Yeah. So how has your faith, influenced your success so far? And the second part of the question is, the myth that your calling, that you are only called when you are on the pulpit. So your take on that.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
All right. Okay, I can hear you now. All right.
All right. Thank you very much for this. When it comes to faith, I think my faith has helped me as a move far. I can say this. I can say this confidently because during I believe at some point I was having fear, but I know that the opposite of fear is faith. So sometimes in this journey, of our tech career, we just personally, let me just say, I just used to feel like at times I used to ask myself some questions, and I'd be like, am I sure I can? Am I sure I'm going to make it through this line? Am I sure I'm going to make it through this way? Or no matter how much we even have passion for what we want to do, no matter how much we have passion for that course that we are really pursuing, or that career that we are really pursuing, as in the place of faith cannot be underestimated. And the place of faith is where prayer comes from, because no matter how much we believe in our skills, no matter how much we believe in our whatever, as in anything we feel like we can do, as no matter how much we believe in the passion, there is always, I can just categorize that as the physical part. So the physical part is doing its own, that is our works. And then the place of faith, that is the spiritual part. That is where prayer comes in at times. And then we just have to pray, because this is what wells, and this is what really enables the physical that we are really pursuing. Because the truth of the matter is that, as in, even while we are pursuing our career, I just used to have this feeling that I'm not the only one in this line. I'm not the only one in this web development stuff. As in, there are many people in this web development stuff, and sometimes I just think that, am I really going to make this count? So I can really say that my faith has really helped me. And when my faith has really helped was when I was in school. That was while I was even doing my national diploma. While I finished my national diploma, I was able to believe that God, I just want the next level, as in concerning this, my tech career, concerning my web development. And you won't even believe it, that something happened that someone I did not even believe that would open the door for. As in someone I can just easily look at and just be like, no, not this person. And the person just like a trust that no, this person can link me up to my boss. So now this is where the journey of faith starts from. Now, when he introduced me, as to that my boss, he knows I used to write. I used to write as well. This is one of my skills.
Okay.
So, and this is what has really helped me as well to really take up this web development career as well, because I write proposals and stuff. But while I was in school, then I knew I used to write a lot. I write for political guys, and this guy knew I used to write, and he was like, Mr. Emmanuel, I want to link you to somebody who needs a writer. That was the boss I did my IT under. So that was the first action of faith. That was the first result of faith. And then I believed, but I was still a little bit doubting. Now, to now make this thing perfect, I was feeling reluctant. I wasn't answering, but I was still having faith that can this thing work? Can this thing work? While I was still in that position, while I was still in that situation, another person came. As someone I knew as well, we used to call him Honorable Koko in school then. And he was like, Mr. Narcos, I want to introduce you as into somebody, as in that is into web development. He needs a blogger, somebody that can blog, and I believe you can write, and somebody, as in, to God be the glory, as in, sincerely speaking, you wouldn't believe that the same person that the first person linked me to, it wasn't that maybe I was meeting the two of them at the same time. It was just randomly. They were just meeting me randomly, not even at the same time, not even at the same day, not even in the same day. And the second person had to introduce me. So while I pursued, while I said, okay, let me go and check this person out. It was the same person when I discovered that, oh, so it is still the same. But when I got to my boss, I was like, so it is still the same person that this person introduced me to, the first person, not knowing that the two of them actually knew my boss I worked under. That was when I knew that there is even God's hand in this.
Wow. Awesome. So that is actually the calling,
Exactly. Yeah. So I was able to look at all those journeys, and then I knew that no. And that is why, it is only our faith that moves God. And I know that it was through this faith that, something happened. And I know that God's hand is, and I know it is a calling. And you talked about the pulpit stuff like that.
Yeah, the myth. Yeah,
yes, exactly. The second
really
part.
calling on. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I know it was a calling, because even apart from staying in the, I have stayed in the church pulpit to announce a web development program that we used to do in church. I'm this kind of person that I just want to train people. Even with the little that I know, I want to train people. I want to let people know. Exactly. So, and I believe, because the best way, to me, I feel that the best way to learn at times is to teach.
Awesome.
I have always learned this thing right from while I was in school. As in, I used to personally conduct tutorial, not because I know everything, but I just want a situation whereby the little that we know, we can be able to teach it, we can be able to propagate it so that people can learn as much as possible. And as they are learning, they can start to develop, because I knew how much I've been able to put into this thing, as in personally.
Awesome. And okay,
sir, you want to say something, sir?
No, Gaidon, I just want to inject something. Are you true?
Yes, sir. You can come.
Okay, all right. Awesome. You're talking about the fact that you just want to impact. You just want to do stuff for people, even from the little that brings me, to what to part of what is one of the things that is our slogan, or I'll say it's our core, in Wisdom for Life and Leadership, is the servant leadership, which we replicate just as Christ. Christ came to serve us. So we also, we are also serving, people out there. Yeah, awesome. Thank you very much. All right. So Mr. Shina, so it's like the journey, power has been restored, right?
Yeah, it is now. Yeah, it is.
Okay, all right. All right. Yeah. So over to you.
Okay. Let me reduce the lights. So. Okay, I think this is better.
Yeah.
All right. So, thank you, everybody. So I think the two questions is first, the role of faith in my journey.
Yeah, the role of faith in your journey, yeah.
And secondly, if I have to be on PP before I can call, before I can say to have been.
You know, there's that myth, you know, there's a myth that believes that you are only called when you're the people. You
Okay,
know,
let me start from breaking that myth.
Okay.
This is biblically speaking, this is what the Bible teaches. So all believers, we have been called into the ministry of reconciliation. Okay, all of us have been called into the ministry of reconciliation. First, 2 Corinthians 5:21. Take it from 19 down. Okay, where all believers have been called into the ministry of reconciliation, and that basically means, irrespective of where you are, who you are, it is more like you become a believer, you are handed a work to do. Okay, so it's a call for everybody. So the pastor's role is just to be the shepherd, guide, direct, coordinators. So, and in the process, the pastor is doing one thing, training us for the work of ministry. Okay, so that's the role of the church, training not only the pastor, training the whole flock for the work of ministry. Let's see the church as our training ground as believers, where we go, we get trained, get equipped, get empowered to become effective ministers of Christ. To become effective ministers of Christ. And that's one thing I want us to first and foremost take from here. So it goes beyond we just being, It goes beyond we just belonging to any profession and so on and so forth. That's the first thing. Ephesians 4:11-12. So testifies to that. And that thing I also want us to take away from here basically is this. Now, when we now belong to our influences differs. From where I'm coming from as a civil engineer, the people I would interfere with on a daily basis will not be the same person, Emmanuel and the other speaker. Our influence, the people who have met in life are totally different. Okay, so because of the journey, my own journey is not like any other person's journey here, and their own journey also is not like mine. So it means that people I'm going to influence, get in contact with, associate with on a daily basis, or in my line of career will not be the same thing as theirs. So in my own line of career and in relating with these people, one of those things that I see myself as is an ambassador of Christ. Okay, an ambassador of Christ. So I'm Christ's representative as I mingle with people in my line of work on a daily basis. Okay, and one thing I've done in the past basically is that I think for me, fortunately, while I was on field, I've always had that privilege of having students on intern. So when they come on field, students on intern, the HR hand them over to me. So from my line of work, I've had this influence over students who come on intern. And in process of talking about career, guiding them, letting them know the in and out of civil engineering, construction, and so on and so forth. As opportunity presents itself, I also have time of talking to people, asking them about their faith, preaching the gospel to them, and so on, even being an engineer. Okay, even being an engineer. So that's what I talk about, the calling. So the calling, it's not about what you do or which line of career you are, no. And it's not limited to the church, no. We are the ambassador of Christ. Our role is to take this message of the gospel out to the world. That is the mission that has been handed over to us all, and not only to the pastors. Okay, so we are co-laborers with the pastors and the church administrators. Okay, we are all co-laborers. I haven't said that, and that's the assignment for every one of us. So it's not something we can just push to the pastors and we just fold our hands. And another thing that I also come that is also vital in this, and because this is a faith-based this is a faith-based discussion. And another thing that is also vital is this. Because we'll be meeting people on a daily basis, we also have to be grounded in this message of the gospel, which is very, very key. So, and the reason is this. If we don't really know the Bible stand on this subject matter we are preaching to people, we will eventually give people false hope as we mingle with them. Let me give you an instance. An instance is that today we're out on evangelism in the morning. When I told you in the morning we'll be going on evangelism.
Okay. Yeah.
I also met other people on feed also who were also doing evangelism, sharing tracts and so on and so forth. So I took my time and I went to one of them and actually gave me a tractor. I now said, okay, I'll just let to just engage and have a discussion with her. So I started off by saying, okay, what makes you a Christian? Because you are sharing tracts now. What about if one of those people you share tracts will come back and say, okay, what makes you a Christian? The answer she was giving were not really biblical. She was really concentrating on having good work and so on and so forth. But that is not what the Bible teaches. What the Bible teaches is faith in Christ Jesus. John 3:16, for God so loved the world, I gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believes in him will not perish, but have everlasting life. So there's a fundamental thing to the faith, which is believing. Yes, which is believing. And as we have seen for Ephesians 2, 8-9, it said, for by grace you have been saved through faith, not of yourselves, it is a gift of God, not of works, lest any man should boast. We can see from this portion of scriptures that what saves a man basically is not his good work, good deeds, good act. No, what saves a man primarily is believing in the sacrificial work of Christ. So a person can belong to the church for years, be involved, and that's what I told her, be involved in all the gymnastics and so on and so forth, be so passionate about God's work and still miss it. Why? The person had not paid attention to the core of the faith. So I explained to her from my own background, civil engineer. I said, foundation is what keeps a building. So if the foundation is not built right or solidified, whatever we think we are building on it as good work and so on and so forth, it is just misplaced priority. So I was able to establish that. And because this is believers, church faith-based people that are here, that's also why I'm using this opportunity to share this. So that is very, very important. Very, very important. If you take that John 3:16 and go to 17, 17 said, God did not send a Christ into the world to condemn the world, but that in the world will be saved. 18 now went further and said something very, very important. 18 was able to establish for us that those who believe in him are saved, and those who does not believe in him those who believed in him are not condemned, but those who do not believe in him are condemned already. And I said, why are they condemned? Because they do not believe in the only begotten Son of God. That's John 3:18. So what really condemns a man is either a man believes or does not believe. That is very, very primary. So when I went further and I asked her, and I told her, so what about Muslims, people of other faith? What is their faith here? So what is their hand? She was quite scared of what it said. So I quickly went to Romans 10 and I told her what Paul said. In Romans 10, Paul established something very, very important. He said, my heart desire for the Jews, for Israel, is that he be saved. For I bear them witness that they have a zeal for God, but not according to knowledge. Can you see? They have a zeal. So Paul can testify about the Jews, about Israel, that they have this zeal and passion for God, but they are missing something. He went further in 3. He said this is where they missed it. Instead of going for the righteousness of God, they are establishing their own righteousness. So they are using woman parameter and basis as a woman parameter and yardstick as a basis for salvation, which is not what God is doing. So God have his own marking scheme, which is believing in Christ as the basis for a man's justification before God. But Israel missed out. You can check these scriptures, or maybe later I can just put those scriptures in those chats so that we can see. So that is the role of, that is first and foremost the calling for all of us, irrespective of our career paths, irrespective of where we are, irrespective of what we are doing. This is what we expect to communicate to the world. And as we meet with people every day, I would meet with engineers. Somebody who is not in that line will not meet with them. I will meet with people in corporate training. People who are not in that line will not meet with maybe professional in a corporate space, and so on and so forth. So in our own circle of influence, that's the word basically from. In our circle of influence, we are ambassadors of Christ, and we expect to communicate this gospel rightly as the Bible has communicated it. If not, we would only be giving people false hope, which is not based on scriptures. Okay, so I haven't said that. In what role has faith been able to help me? See, we cannot deny the role of faith and God in my own journey. God had been so wonderful. Yeah. So sometimes the ideas that come, somebody was saying something, I think Emmanuel was saying something. You are not, you think you are the best at this. You are not. There are a lot of people who are far, 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 far better than you. Okay. My pastor said something, I think last week. He said something fundamental. He said, if you think you are the best at something, do you know that you are not the better? There's somebody who is better off than you. Maybe you submitted a proposal. Emmanuel was talking about writing proposal. So you submit a proposal and maybe the proposal eventually passes. It doesn't mean because you are the best at that proposal writing. No, it is just benevolence of God, because there would always be somebody who is better off than you. What about if that person have also submitted their own proposal on that same project at that time? You will be displaced and the person would have come for it. So yes, yes, because there's something here. Every one of us is just a middleman. There are people who you are better off, and there are people who are better off you. So if you're in a competition with people who are better off you, forget it. You'll be swept off. Why? Because they are better off you. So in some instances, when stuffs open up for us, we get a gig, we get an opportunity, things open up for us. Let's just come back to this. It is benevolence and goodness and generosity of God that we are basically enjoying. Yes, it is just like God opening ways of provision for us or for his people. Yes, that's the way I see these things. So every opportunities, every doors that have opened and so on and so forth, despite the fact that we see, okay, maybe it's our merits, we burn the midnight candle and so on and so forth, which I won't play down on, because there's also a role of hard work and so on and so forth. But the place of God factor, God's intervention, God's favor, blessings and opportunities opening up for his children, it's something that we cannot downplay. Yes, that we cannot downplay. So for me, for example, let me give you an instance of how I was able to get that gig of that corporate training. I've never done a corporate training before in my life. I've always been a guy who has run with passion. It was just a call. So a call came in and they said, can this guy do this? I said, yeah, okay, give me a trial. And I was able to do it. That same call could have gone to another person. Yes, that same call could have gone to another person. How was I able to even land my first job as a civil engineer? Sorry about that. How was I able to land my first job as a civil engineer? I've stayed at home for months after NYSC and I didn't get a job. I shared my CV all around, virtually all around Lagos. Yes. So my wife's uncle submitted, then when I could just said, okay, give me your CV, let me submit it, because there's a project ongoing in Navy base. He's a Navy personnel, he's a Navy officer. So he submitted the CV to the lady. So the lady had a lot of CV on her table. So when the opening came, they had a lot of CV. It was the lady that was telling me when I'd come to the company, the HR. So he said, but the uncle was a very nice guy, who very wonderful guy. So he said she had a whole lot of CV on her table. She just looked through there like, which one are we even choosing out of these people? Who are we even call? So she now said, she just picked my CV, just gave me a call and asked if I can come to her papa, maybe the following, if I can come to her papa the following day. I even told her it would not be possible. I was staying in Badagry. I can't just come to her papa the following day. He said, okay, can you make it next tomorrow? I said, yes. Yes. So she had a whole lot of CV on her table. Why the choice of my own CV? Yes. Why the choice of my CV? So so those are the things that I would say are the hand of God, and God basically just favoring us in those situations. So we cannot downplay the place of God and faith in our journey, especially me. So, and I think let me just stop there. So that's all.
All right, awesome. That was awesome. Yeah, of course we can, we cannot downplay the role of faith, in our journey. So thank you very much, Mr. Shina. Thank you, Mr. Emmanuel, and thank you, Mr. Israel. So before I have my last question, so that I'll call it today. I don't know if there's anyone who has a question. If you have a question, you could maybe drop it in the chat box or just signify, by raising up your hand. And once again, if you're just joining us, this is Wisdom for Life and Leadership. It's an organization that that we empower people, both either in the sacred world or in the secular world, using biblical principles, biblical wisdom, for your life, and leaders, and leadership, because here we believe everybody's a leader, because since we are emulating Christ, and and that is what basically do here. And we have several avenues which we do that. We do that, through our one-on-one interview. We do that through panel discussion, which we are having right now. I've also did that through conferences and prayer gatherings, time, and all that. So, so I will now go to our last and final question, which will, looking at all of your journeys so far, what is that one thing, well, maybe it could be more than one, but what, maybe one, two, but what is that one thing that that you want the audience to take home? Just one thing that you want the audience to take home. So, okay, let me start, Shina.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Let me make this very, just one thing that I want the audience to take on from my own journey. Just one single thing. It's all about finding staying in your area of, let me put it this way, staying in your area of passion, something that just go well with you. And it's one thing, but can you just allow me just elaborate a bit on it? Can I do that?
Okay, all right.
Okay, so this is it. Find something you are so passionate about, something that come easy for you, something that you don't struggle around. For me, speaking, teaching, training, consulting, mentoring, coaching are just my area of strength. So, and that is the reason why it is very, very easy for me to move around area, even while I'm a civil engineer. Surprisingly, even as a civil engineer, practicing civil engineer, one of the reasons why I noticed the HR pushes students who come on internship on project site to me to become their coordinator. It's basically, he had made a statement at the point. He said, you really want to learn this work? This is the guy that can teach you. So he said, this is the guy that can teach you. So it is the guy that can take this engineering process, explain it to you, break it down in ways that you can basically understand and comprehend. So for me, the advice is that find these things that easily come, things that you don't struggle to do, things that come easily for you, okay? And just try to build a brand or build your capacities in those areas. I think you will do better. That'd be my own experience. You will do better. Okay, I think that's all.
All right. Awesome. So what comes natural to you?
Yeah, what comes natural to you? You will strive. You strive in those areas.
All right. Awesome. Okay. Israel. That
yes,
one
sir.
thing that you want, our audience to take home.
All right, sir. Like you rightly said, do something that comes to you natural. That was perfect. So I would quickly add, while you do something that comes to you persona, be open and humble through the journey.
Yeah.
Be open and humble through the journey. Humility is what gives room for learning. Like I often tell people, it's easier for me to learn from everybody because I can easily learn from you. Be you at the top, be you at the lowest. I am down to, once I want to learn, I'm ready to learn. It doesn't matter who is teaching me. I just want the knowledge. So be open-minded and be humble enough, irrespective of whatever level you are. Be open to new ideas, be open to correction, be open to criticism, be open to ideas, be open to talks. In fact, because we are in a creative society this age, it's necessary that you are open-minded and humble through the journey. Humility pays a lot. God bless. Thank you for having me.
All right. Awesome. Humility, be open-minded. Awesome. Thank you very much. So Mr. Emmanuel. So what's that one thing, just one thing, but it could be two or a few things, that you want the audience to take home?
All right. I want the audience to take home. I think the one thing I want them to take home, I'm trying to look at the word I can use because Yes, exactly. I think just like Mr. Solomon said, so just finding what works for you naturally. So I think that is just that thing, and just stay there and just pray to God about it, and just apply the physical and apply the spiritual. I just believe that everybody has their own, just like some guys, used to talk to me. I tell them, okay, if you are doing graphics design, if you know that, okay, this thing is something you know how to do, just stick to it. If you are learning web design, even web development itself is something that is complex. There are many things you can always deduce from it. We have the back end, we have the front end, we have the UI, UX. Just, okay, as you are going on this journey, maybe it is graphic design you want to do, maybe it is digital marketing you want to do. As you are embarking on all this journey, at a point you will know that this is what you know how to do best. That is why, sometimes I used to tell people that, in school we learn something like agricultural science, what's it called? Biology, we learn physics, we learn chemistry. At the point I was like, why are we learning all these things? Why don't you just pick one and go? And all these people, we just want us to just learn everything. At the end of the day, we will now realize that we are doing much well in one than the other. That is why we now know that, okay, this is what I'm very good at. That is why when we go to higher institution, we always say that, okay, this is what I want to learn. This is what I want to study as a course, because that is the area that you are very good at. So it is as simple as that. Let us just pursue whatever we know we are good at and just build a brand around it and pray to God, because he's the author and finisher of our faith. So that is just
all right. Awesome. I've learned a lot, myself, and sincerely speaking, I'm still going to go over the video again, the recording again, to make sure that I'm not, I don't miss anything. But sometimes, truth can be missed subtly if you're not careful. So, but I just want to use this opportunity, to say thank you, to everyone, our panelists. I so much appreciate the time. Our audience, I so much also appreciate the time. Thank you for your insight. For our panelists, thank you for your insight. Thank you for being open-minded. Like in the words of Mr. Israel, being open-minded, to be able to share your journey this far with us. So I want to say thank you, and God bless you. And I pray that God continue to increase the work of your hands. In Jesus' name. Yes, thank you, our audience. Thank you very much for the time, and we hope to see you next time. So with that, say thank you. Wisdom for Life and Leadership panel discussion comes to an end.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you. Another speaker also, thank you so much. Yeah, you have a great evening ahead.
All right. Yeah, thank you. Have a good evening, everybody. Yeah.